like we're talking about the systems and we're talking about community responsibilities because we had like the ox in the corner selling the black books to us and stuff like that, try to get us knowledge of self. But we didn't have a lot of black men that was actually stepping up. You know what I mean? I definitely was fortunate to have a brother that was down the hall for me that definitely stepped up to me. And we just talked about martial arts.
I'll be right back.
All right. And we're just talking about martial arts and stuff. And but he gave me interested. I started being interested and attracted to the man that he was, and he started giving me Jews on how to roll the streets because you know more how we were. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at us one time, it's like what the fuck you looking at, and it's about to be a fight. You know what I'm saying? Like we was animals, and like I didn't know that you didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to like drench fire with water. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like, you know what I'm saying, playing fire with fire. You know what I mean? You know I had a hand problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, like, and that was from the violent environment that was around me on a regular basis. But if people would have stepped up, like like more men would have stepped up and saw that we were going the wrong path. Like I was fortunate for Khalid. You know what I'm saying? But if we had other people that was older than us, instead of being the OGs just trying to tell us the street laws and all types of shit like, oh, you got to be this and you got to be that, you got to be this and you got to be that. This is the game. You know what I mean? Those type of systems that they put us in. And you said, look at our backyard when we was in the PJs. All we had was wooden stone turtles and fucking monkey bars. You know what I mean? They was treating us like we was fucking animals in the building, you know what I'm saying, in the back of the building and shit like that. And we try to find a better way to make fun out of it because we were kids, you know what I'm saying? But the options that we had wasn't out there for us. So as the chime up what you were saying on the aspect of when you come back and you're cracking, you come back into the area they sell nothing but crack. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you might slip up and be human and go back to being a creature of habit. You know what I mean? But my thing is that there's a lot of systems that's in our neighborhoods that I don't feel is helping out in our community, such as churches. Let's talk about that.
Word. Look, real. I mean, I'll piggyback off of what you said, man. Crack shouldn't even be illegal. You know what I'm saying? We're criminalizing people for putting things in their body. The only substances that should be illegal are substances that will cause you to do harm to other people. We have a $1 billion industry that is making people overweight, and the Food and Drug Administration. The fact that those two things are together tells you everything. Right. So I don't really rock with. I know I seem like super radical on all this. I'm like, get rid of the police, make crack legal, all of that. But it's when the government picks and chooses what we are allowed to put in our body. But we know the government allows us to put pure poison in our bodies on a consistent basis. The government pushes this. GMOs, all of the genetically modified foods, all of the sprays that they're putting on things to create plants to grow twice as fast and all these different things, right? Cows that grow 3 times as big and have 4 times the meat and all of this unnatural shit that they do. But crack, you got to send somebody to prison for 25 years for using it, for using this an amount smaller than the tip of your pinky can send you to prison, but you can poison yourself in other ways and it's completely fine.
Or to add to that point also, Z, is that we can't even get federal approval on freaking marijuana. You know what I mean? Which is absolutely absurd. You know what I'm saying? So no, I get it.
It's ways to do this shit. It's just that we not doing it right. Like Farrakhan, peace and blessings to everybody in the Nation of Islam, the FOIs, the brothers, the FOIs. You know, I have nothing against no religion. I believe every religion is correct because it finds the heart and peace in a savage person. Any religion could find peace in the heart of a savage person. But Farrakhan made a valid point when he said, I want 1 million of us to go march on Washington, D.C. And that shit has been so like overlooked, like, oh, they just did a 1 million man march. If have you not noticed since the 1 million man march how many laws, how much things have changed in this country? Like,
due to the nation?
yeah. Because if it wasn't for the FOIs, if it wasn't for the Prophet Elijah Muhammad, there wouldn't be no Nation of Islam. If it wasn't no Nation of Islam, it wouldn't be no 5% nation. That's where the studies come from. So back when everybody was talking Christianity, blessed be to God, amen, going to a white church while the white man is still enslaving you, using that same religion to fuck you over, you had a point where the Nation of Islam produced people that were diligent and more radical with trying to fight for their freedom and fight for being oppressed. And I think
and more too, to add to that, the people that are well and are disciplined too. You know what I mean?
Like we not taking those steps to do, like, if it's something that we want to change as a people, we have to get together collectively. The blueprint has already been written. KRS already dropped the blueprint. Jay tried to do it. The blueprint for survival has already been put out there. So we just got to follow some of these same steps. Like, if we want to change the laws with the food, the GMOs, we want our own land. We want this. We need 1 million of us to go lobby. That's when I met Large Professor, the professor who taught me about he told me he was a lobbyist. And I was like, and I never knew what a lobbyist was until he told me what it was, and building with the brother. You know, the brother got knowledge of self. And he was like,
extra
lobbyists go down to Washington, D.C. to fight, you know what I'm saying? To speak up for the people or what people need. We need more people to understand their role in this society. You got a bunch of niggas who jumping on the internet. You got a bunch of niggas who talk the talk, but they not doing the walk. The walk is to go down there to Washington, D.C. You got to lobby. You got to fight these people in their court to get what we want. And if we not going to do that, all we just doing is talking.
So let me follow up on that, Maul, because the Nation of Islam, I have an interesting relationship with the nation. On one hand, I completely respect how Elijah Muhammad and Farrakhan have cleaned up a lot of brothers and cleaned up a lot of sisters and made dignified men and women out of people who prior to them weren't as dignified. You can't knock that. I think it's one of the most impressive feats of leadership in Black America, what Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan have been able to do in that regard. Where I push back on the nation is I have never seen, the nation is arguably in America, our most organized Black force.
That's a fact, Jack.
That being said, the nation has never busted a grape for anything. There has never been a cause, whether it's Trayvon, whether it's getting Zimmerman up out of here, whether it is the George Floyd situation. I have never seen the nation move on anything.
Yeah, I think after Malcolm X, they was told not to do nothing of that nature no more. That's what I personally think. Like, after Malcolm X, they was like,
they didn't move before Malcolm, brother. There's no the nation moves when the nation moves on somebody. It's somebody that is threatening the nation. They are not a defense mechanism for Black America at all. All of the, I said a few years ago, man, like a group of people that is moving in military form with no weapons is just a step team. all of the shows of force and all of that, and like the even like as security, man, like I'm not like the people, they have an image, but they do not bust grapes. And that's not necessarily what we need them for, because at the end of the day, they're a religious organization, they're a church, but they speak politically, but they don't move politically. Even the land, where is the land? Muammar Gaddafi gave Minister Farrakhan $7 million in the early 2000s. Where is the land? I've seen pictures with Minister Farrakhan with leaders from around the world. Where is our sovereignty? Why are there not, you know what I'm saying? Like, why have these relationships, what is panned out from these relationships? So I think Minister Farrakhan sounds good. I agree with a lot of what he says, the political aspects of what he says, not so much the religious. But when it comes to an actual movement that is activating people to be free and be progressive towards something better, as opposed to just being a part of a religious organization, like I don't see the nation much more than any other church.
Even I remember going to college, and I was going to
You got a step team.
I was heading back to the college in Norfolk State, and the first Million Man March. You know what I'm saying? And the first Million Man March hit, and people was looking at me in so disgust because I didn't go. He said, brother, you going to the march, brother? No, I'm going back to school. I can't pay for another ticket. I got to go back. I got to go back to school. You know, real brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got that. You know what I mean?
Didn't get on the bus?
I didn't get on the bus. I got on my bus. I didn't get on that bus. You know what I'm saying?
Get on the bus, brother.
Listen. I didn't say it was the greatest thing. I didn't say it was the greatest thing.
So when it happened, and I saw it live on TV, and I was proud to see all these black men being there. And it was like, yo, I just want y'all to give $1 to this cause. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to change up everything that's happening with our black people. And people were so proud and said, fuck this shit, because it was something they could believe in, because everybody got $1. It's up to you to have a convincing skill to be able to manipulate to say, yo, let me get this $1 to this cause. Because I don't have to give you this $1, but it was for a cause. People was ready for a cause. You know what I'm saying? And people invested into this cause, but nobody has seen anything from this cause at all.
Yeah, you're right. I've heard stories.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened with the money.
The Million Man March is Dr. Umar's school.
You gonna do Umar, man?
I love Dr. Umar, but I'm just saying, like, nothing came of it. Where are the fruits?
At least he has a building.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? He's trying to make it happen. He has an example of where the money is coming in. You know what I mean?
Real. I rock with Dr. Umar, but I'm saying the disappointment that I feel in regards to like the lack of movement after the Million Man March and the lack of marching orders is the way that black people are acting in regards to Dr. Umar's school. I hear that's the biggest complaint about Dr. Umar is where's the school at? I sent in 78 cents 5 years ago, and there's still no school, right? So I feel as though like
he has a school though.
Cool. I'm just saying, I'm using it metaphorically. Like there has to be follow through. Like we get caught up in the fact that, okay, wow, look at the show of force. Like, look, he called 1 million people to the table, right? Okay, cool. He called 1 million people to the table, and that's definitely a show of power. But if you are committed to never using that power, then that's not power that we need. That's not power that we need in your hands. Exactly. Like Minister Farrakhan is old. By the time Elijah Muhammad was Minister Farrakhan's age, he had passed the baton. You know what I'm saying? He had passed the baton to Farrakhan. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a level of, I don't know. There's just a lot.
But aren't we seeing the baton, so to speak, being transferred to Dr. Wesley Muhammad? Because I'm seeing him showing out a lot more and sort of perhaps stepping into those into that leadership role, perhaps taking away some of the, lessening some of the leadership responsibilities that were once with, with Farrakhan.
Is it Wesley or Nuri?
No, I'm talking about Dr. Wesley Muhammad.
Wesley. Okay, Wesley is taking no.
And don't get me
No, and
started
I don't
on
know that.
Scientology.
I don't want to say that because I don't know.
Right.
But I do know that I see Dr. Wesley Muhammad doing a lot of, sort of mass speaking engagements, and he sort of seems like, to me, on the outside looking in, he's sort of stepping into that sort of leadership role. Perhaps, if anybody was to make an assumption that's on the outside looking in, that he might be the predecessor. You know what I mean? And I don't know, but I think it's a reasonable assumption for those of us that are unaware.
Right.
I didn't.
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We did. I like how we tapped in on something and we just building on it, because that's what we supposed to do. That Million Man March that Farrakhan set up is that if we want to rally and get things done, the blueprint was already explained. Like you said, all right, so what? They put 1 million men, but nothing happened. Let's try it again. Let's get another 1 million men. It don't have to be backed by Louis Farrakhan. It could be backed by a bunch of us that have the same ulterior motive.